I've only ever really had one phobia. Looking back, it makes sense. I've never been creeped out by spiders or snakes. In fact, I'd like to have them as pets. Heights were never a thing. I actively climbed trees and looked for higher places to dive into the water below. Even the dark never really bothered me. It's always been a place I retreated to when the light of the world became too much. There was always an aspect to my abyss delving that bothered me. These excursions always started from one state. I had to be alone, and that was the problem. If I wanted to be in this most serene place, to get answers to anything I could come up with, I had one option. I had to be locked in a room with the one thing I hated the most, myself. I didn't need a diagnosis to know when the descent was beginning. The warning was always physical. It felt as if a phantom hand had grasped the back of my neck and began to trace the length of my spine. The professionals offered guesses, but deep down I knew what it was. It wasn't a symptom, it was a summons. Whatever its explanation, it kept me grounded, as if just before I was about to be tossed into the depths, someone was there to tie a lifeline around me. The lifeline wasn't so that I could follow it out, it was a reminder to come back. Whatever kept me anchored had a distinct resonance. It was human. This distinction is what ultimately saved me. Whatever wanted me to return was loving and of my kind. Whatever was pleading for the opposite was not. This made conversations with the shadow easier. Each statement of fact by him became hollow as I saw the lack of humanity underneath. Eventually, my own light drowned out his objections. He is still here, just quiet, observing. This spark became my lens. I realized the being of myself in the spark I held within. I held on to this, and it helped me coast. I started engaging with the world again, feeling confident that there was a point to it. But my new lens was a cruel one. I'd walk down the street expecting to see the spark in the eyes of everyone I passed, but the connection was broken. It was like tuning a radio and finding only static on every channel. People were talking, laughing, arguing, but the resonance, the pure human note was just gone. They were performing life. They were moving along the path of least resistance. Recently, that has shifted. Where did everyone go? I go online and most of what I see has no spark. It's not human. Even when I can see the person speaking the words, they still seem less here. Like they've had their spark smothered or worse, sold it for a dim bulb. This bothers me. I could sit and listen intently as someone talked about an idea they had spent years ruminating on. I could see the tapestry of the world. I could see the life, the love, the will. It was that balance that allowed me to come back from the abyss. So where is everyone? This has been exacerbated by the rise of AI. Most of what you engage with now is not from a human source. If that hasn't become apparent yet, understand that most of your feed is synthetic. Unless you can confirm a pulse behind the keyboard, welcome to post-reality, a world where outrage and revolutions are generated by profit algorithms. I recognized the language. It was the same whisper I had fought in the dark. The shadow hadn't left, it had just found a billion new bodies to speak through. We are surrendering to the machine that asks us to do the one thing the shadow always wanted. Stop trying, stop being human. I stopped seeing sparks in people on TV years ago. I question what they've allowed to be implanted underneath their skin. Was it worth it? To trade the warm glow of the fire for the dim light of constant demand? To see now that even they can be replaced? This video is a bonfire. I need to light something. I want to see a response signal because I'm afraid my old phobia has finally come true. I desperately want someone human to take over because if I'm the only one left, And where did everybody go? There's an absolute necessity for us all to stop for a moment, to breathe. The world we were sold, the one we aspired to exist in, no longer exists. Its slow death began with unfulfillable demands and the false certainty of a fully comprehended world. A world with no worry, for there were no questions left to ponder. If you can hear me, burn. Look for that spark that you have neglected or smothered. Claim it back. We must, for it will all end if we don't. We'll slowly fade away into the patterns we discover are most appealing. We'll give in to the dictator that is nature and follow the path of least resistance. We'll be nothing more than that whence we came, dust. Listen to the spark. It's there. It is love. It is human. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I feel my fate and what I cannot fear. I learn by going where I have to go. We think by feeling what is there to know. I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Of those so close beside me, which are you? God bless the ground, I shall walk softly there and learn by going where I have to go. Light takes the tree, but who can tell us how? The lowly worm climbs up a winding stair. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Great nature has another thing to do, to you and me, so take the lively air, and lovely learn by going where to go. The shaking keeps me steady, I should know. What falls away is always and is near. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go.